Hello, hello, hello! Lord Xenon here with Violet Willow to take on our first optional dungeon, Halatali. I call it optional because it's not part of the main story, but you're going to want to play this. Especially you're going to want to play this after you've cleared Ifrit and joined a Grand Company, as several of the items in the Grand Company log can only be found in Halatali. Like Ifrit, it's a level 20 instance. It sinks to level 23. And a couple things I didn't mention during the Ifrit fight because it was so short. You'll notice I made some changes to my HUD, a bunch of colors of the party members, and of my own character name, and Carby. So just mainly a few cosmetic changes. I've also changed where my buff markers are. So so you just basically notice that my layout's a little different. This is a lot closer to the way I have it on my main, just to keep things a little consistent, something I'm more familiar with. And we are waiting for the tank to begin. Let's go. See, like that doctor up there, he's going to be a enemy in my hunting log. Again, really nothing has changed in terms of strategy from previous dungeons, except now, as I mentioned in the Ifrit video, I actually remembered that Emerald Carbuncle has an AoE, so I have it slotted. So I'm going to have him use it. I'm going to have him use it. There we go. The problem with pet commands is they're not always responsive to them. So I say I technically have an AoE attack, but it's not a particularly reliable one. There's a lot of optional areas in this dungeon, a lot of places that you don't necessarily need to go. This tank is taking us on the most direct route, which is what you're mostly going to have in this dungeon. About the only time you're not going to is when you have a tank who doesn't know where he's going, like me when I first tanked this, even though I'd played it numerous times as DPS. Because why do I need to know where to go if I'm a caster just following the tank? Moral of the story, even if you're just following the tank, learn the layout of the dungeon. Don't be stupid like me. You'll notice a lot more AoE attacks to dodge in this dungeon that are long enough reaching that you as a caster are actually going to have to do a little bit of moving around. Get used to this. This is a recurring theme throughout the rest of the game. Zoom out a little bit. Been there, done that, Jingo. Been there, done that. I've been playing this game 5 years, and I make no claim to be an expert. I can get through most non-hardcore content, but, well, all non-hardcore content, and I'm working on the raids, but I make no claims to be an expert, just an experienced and very passionate player. Okay, now it's time for our first boss. This is another boss where there are mechanics and strategies involved, but we don't always do them. So, Fire Main starts off like just in any other fight. Drop your dots, hit him with everything you got. As the fight progresses, you're going to see little fireballs start to appear throughout the arena, and they're going to start moving toward that big fire in the center. If they do, if they reach the fire, they will self-destruct and do damage to the entire party. So you got two options. You can either kill all of the fireballs before they become a threat, or you can trust the healer to keep the party healed through it and just focus down the boss. Some parties will insist on taking out all the ads, other parties will insist on not dealing with any of the ads and instead just focusing the boss. I'm going to drop bio on all these. As that is really all that is needed to take out the early ones. The last one's a little more powerful. This one by the books this time again. Sometimes you're going to have parties that insist that you not take out the ads and just focus down the boss and let the healer keep everybody alive. That's another very viable strategy in this fight. I'm going to roll greed. I'm rolling greed on everything in here because I don't have much gear for this character. And if I decide to level up another class, which I may not because this is an alt, but if I do, I'm going to have gear for it. Alright, in this next section, your goal is actually to activate 5 chain winches. When you activate each winch, there are basically 3 things that can happen. Either a few lightning elementals will appear, a chest will appear, or a bomb will appear. The first one there had a chest. You can't actually access the second boss until you have successfully activated all 5 chain winches. So make sure that you're not skipping any of them. Again, in my early days of tanking, I have done this. And nobody in the party noticed, and we've had to do some backtracking, so don't do that. The first 2 chain winches are right here in the first room. Alright, if the bomb appears, it will self-destruct pretty much immediately when you hit it. As a caster, this is not a problem at all. If you are tanking or using melee DPS, hit it once, then withdraw. Alright, same old on most of these trash holes here. Sorry, it's morning, I have a little bit of the morning phlegm going on. Yay! Yay, I am level 27. Not that it matters one lick in this fight. Alright, Cadence is getting my commendation. Cadence just gave some very good advice to the tank. In a way that was very respectful and very kind. And that is, point the, as you're tanking, point the enemies away from the party. That is good advice. Because, as Cadence intimated, there are some players that are not so nice that will not be quite as friendly about telling you those things. Oh, there's Winch 3, by the way, and we have 3 lightning sprites to deal with. It's entirely luck which of the 3 things you get from the winch, whether it be the lightning sprites, the bomb, or the chest. Yeah, Cadence is definitely getting my commendation. Alright, well there was winch number 4, and winch number 5 is right there. And that kind of greenish door directly in front of me is the door that will open when the last winch is activated. I'll kind of keep my camera focused this way so you can see the door open when the last winch gets activated. Winch, and there opens the door, and more lightning sprites. Yay. I mean, it's not that I can't use the experience, but it does slow the dungeon down a little bit. Alright, well this second boss has a little bit of an interesting strategy to it. You'll notice that the boss fights start to get a little more interesting going forward. The first few are very basic. Now we're going to start getting into some more interesting mechanics. In this case, it's all about positioning. So this arena, you can go left or right down the ramp. Most parties go left. It really doesn't matter. There's water at the bottom. Stay out of the water for the most part. Now, when the boss moves into the center, the water will become electrified, obviously you don't want to be standing in it. Then a bunch of lightning sprites will appear. You need to kill them. Because odds are you're not going to be able to hit the boss, especially if you're melee. Once all the sprites are dead, the water can come... Okay, you actually can hit it from here. But again, usually I don't worry about the boss until the sprites are up, because you need to kill the sprites so that the tank can continue tanking. So yeah, just keep blasting it. Oh, and it becomes invulnerable too. I forgot about that. It's been a while since I played this. Ability from the lightning sprite, otherwise I would have dodged it. That was a stupid mistake on my part. So yeah, a little more interesting fight there, but nothing too bad. And that should be all of the hunting log entries from Halatali. Yes. The dock doors at the beginning and the first two bosses. Now that's if you are in Immortal Flames. I don't honestly know if it's different if you pick one of the other two grand companies, because I have only ever picked Immortal Flames. Alright, this third section of trash pulls can be very quick if you ignore all of the optional stuff and just head straight to the boss room. If you see that little white text that says Ludus Door off to the right, that's the door to the end boss. That's all the farther you need to go to get there. So just a couple pulls on the way, and you can go right to the boss. And I need to roll on my loot. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Don't trigger the boss. There we go. Now you can trigger the boss. Okay, here we go. Now, this boss is actually very similar to the first boss. It's just a little more mobile. So, start off, drop your dots, hit him with everything you got, just like normal. Now, when the fire sprites start to appear, the boss will become invulnerable. You need to kill the fire sprites as they appear in order to make the boss vulnerable again. Now, at the same time, the fireballs will appear, just like in the first boss fight. Once all the fire sprites are dead, this time the fireballs will self-destruct upon running into the boss, rather than going into the middle of the room. Oh, more fire sprites. Once the fire sprites are dead, as I was trying to say before, the boss will become vulnerable again. The healer is actually assisting in taking down the fireballs, so I'm gonna start getting some damage on the boss. Because we're gonna be at this forever if we don't kill the boss. At this point, the boss is not invulnerable, so I'm just going to keep pushing it while the while the healer and the other DPS are worrying about the fireballs. And now we have it. Well, we're going to get a limit break in, or are we? No. And that's Halatali. And I'm going to think. Party? A doctor's bill has been added to the list. Fun little pun. And definitely Cadence is getting my commendation. And I got a commendation. Woot! So that was Halatali. Again, it's technically an optional dungeon in that you don't actually need to complete it to finish the story, but you'll want to complete it to get, obviously it's useful for leveling, and you'll need it in order to get all the company seals from the hunting log. So, and again, it may be a little bit before I put out another one. I got to advance the story up to get to the next dungeon, which is the 1,000 Laws of Totorak, which is a level 24 dungeon that sinks at 27. So I'll probably review this when I do the dungeon, but really the only big thing that you get at 27, you don't have any new roll abilities, and the only actual new spell you have at that level is Bio 2. Bio 2 is merely an upgrade to Bio. So you'll notice on my hotbar where Bio was during the dungeon is now Bio 2. It's just a more powerful version of Bio. As these spells upgrade, they will, instead of being new spells as they once were when the game first came out, they are now basically upgrades to your existing spells. So that's all I have for you right now. As soon as I unlock Totorak, I will be getting through that. So until then, have a wonderful day.